All right, I'm on hole number one of the Coast to Coast tournament in Monday's qualifying round. I think I'm gonna try and qualify today in my 77 account. So I'm that's the way it's looking. So let's go to hole number one. This is Juniper Point, hole number two. And I'm working a straight on shot to it. Now, I may change my tune here because here's the deal. I've been using I think I was using a navigator here with my club, and the way that the wind's blowing in this particular tournament, the wind is blowing in this direction. So where I've been setting up, I'm using a Grizzly. I did this shot quite a few times in practice to get the stuff down. It was 3 backspin. It was 1.5 right side spin, and it was a plus 10% on the wind adjustment, and in the cup 4 times with 3 different clubs: Grizzly, Grim Reaper, Saturn. But the way that the wind's blowing here, I'm 3 rings off of this transitional surface with this setup going right to the cup. And here's the cup, here's the flagpole. I was going towards this edge of the flagpole, or this edge of the cup. Earlier today, we had like a 4+ mile an hour wind. And so that means with a 100% accurate club, I had to get into the sand in order to work the wind out. And that is, that's not good. So what I may do is change this setup and pull off 5 rings, which is going to put me where what I really want is to have my ball go like this so that it's coming to the cup instead of coming down and using the hill and floating it down. But I may have to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to work with that sand, and the sand is distorting the rings. It's not one of those lips, like you can see where the shadow is over here on the sand on this side. The sand trap goes like this, and then it drops off real quick and then comes into the sand. So when you pull over that edge, it makes the hop. Over here, it's a very gradual. So it's coming up and it's very gradual. So it's not making the hop, but what it is doing is distorting the rings. And it will add to the adjustment. And there's so many different spots out here. I can pick a different spot and not have to work with it. So I'm probably going to come out 5 rings off that transitional surface, and I'll have to reset the shot up and work it again. I've changed how I hit this hole so many times because they've made changes on this hole over the years. I kind of like the original way that it was better. Just personal preference. Any of those will work. And let's see, I'm going to take a nav, just try and cut the wind down. See if a nav will work. What are my options here? I could use a Power 2. I could use a turkey ball. That'll cut the wind down quite a bit. And I have some of those. So let me use a turkey ball. Maybe I can use a turkey ball and I can get down in that area. It might change where I'm at in my club. So I may end up doing it. It may be an overpull, so I may have to work my adjustment. And in practice, I came on this hole with varying balls. So, and I did a max adjustment every time. So let's try it out with the turkey ball and see what that looks like. We'll try it. We got nothing to lose. That's the deal with these par 3s is you got to kind of work it. You can't necessarily, because I get people ask me all the time, why don't you just go back and look at the previous notes from the other tournament? A lot of times the wind's going in a different direction, and that means we have to set the shot up different. Sometimes you can get good reads from the elevation, like you can get information about the elevation, but a lot of times the shot setup that you did the last time may or may not work, just depending on the way the wind's blowing. We have another hole in this tournament, another par 3 in this tournament, that the wind's blowing. Every other time we've had that hole in this tournament, we've gotten tailwind that's blowing from the right to the left. And in this particular tournament, we're getting headwind that's blowing from the left to the right, and it's changing how much topspin we have to put on that shot because we're dealing with headwind. So you have to be flexible and be willing to adjust your setup. Not a really big fan of hitting all the way over that sand, especially when you're just eyeballing your wind adjustment. going, and they hit that grate to the right, and that's where they ended up. All right, 3, 1.5. 3, 1.5. I'm going to get down here about blue ring off. I want to go straight at the cup, right towards that outside edge. It's actually putting me 2 off, which will be all right. That's right on the edge. That's what I'm talking about. And if I do a 10%, so it's a little bit over. Trying to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. And that was a little bit of an underpull. Let's think about where I would be in my club. You would think that that would have been, if I was in mid club, that would have been an overpull. And that was an underpull right there. That's disheartening. That is disheartening. Because I know with that 2-power ball, that's probably putting me more towards mid club than max club. So theoretically, by doing a max wind adjustment at mid club, I should have overpulled it. I'm not going to practice that particular hole. And that's the hole I was talking about where the wind is blowing, where we're getting headwind, where in the past we've always had tailwind. So our setup on that shot's going to have to be a little bit different. All right. That was hole number 1 of the Coast to Coast tournament and Monday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.